Hey everybody, it's Rodney. I'm going to show you how I cook and slice a tri-tip. First, you have to choose a good tri-tip. This here is an insanely marbled tri-tip that I found at Bel Air that is awesome. First, season it with 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1.5 teaspoons of pepper, 1 teaspoon sugar, 1.5 garlic powder. Splash it with 1.5 teaspoons of lemon or lime juice, spray it with oil, put it on some coals and sear it. Cook it indirectly at about 300 and smoke it with a chunk of cherry wood. Cook until it reaches about 145 internal. Take it off the grill, wrap it in heavy duty foil, let it rest for 20 minutes. So open it up, drain out the juice. You want to save that so you can dip the slices in it. Good stuff. So now we're just going to unwrap it and slice it up. See how I wrapped it so it wouldn't leak. Alright. First we got to figure out where the grain direction is on this tri-tip. You got to slice it across the grain. Now, do you want slabs or slices? You want it like that? Ugh. Or does that look a little better? That's a smoked tri-tip I did a few months back. Thin slices are good. Thin is tender. The meat comes apart when it's thin. Plus it's easier to eat. Alright, so first I'm going to find the grain direction. So the grain in the tri-tip runs in this direction on this end, kind of along the meat, and then it goes across the roast as you go further to the left. So I usually cut it in half and slice each half at a time because the grain direction is different. So I'm slicing along the grain, so there you can see the side of the grain. So I'll set this piece aside. The left side is the tender side, the right side is what I call the lean side. This side that I'm cutting now has more fat in it, it's more marbled. So I cut it like this, and this is across the grain. So when you look at the slice, you'll see the end of the grain, not the side of the grain. You don't want it stringy. So this tip is getting in the way, so I'm just going to cut it off. So I cut it a 1/16 of an inch to an 1/8 of an inch thick. Nice and thin. Make sure your knife is really sharp. This is my favorite cutting knife that my dad got me for Christmas a few years back. Holds an edge really nicely. So here, this thing is so marbled, incredibly tender. And this is actually about medium. It just seems really soft because it's such a tender piece of meat. So I eat about half of this thing as I'm cutting it usually. Usually as I cut this, yeah, see there's the end of the grain, and this is the edge of the grain. You don't want to cut it so you see that. You want to see the end of the grain. Usually when I cut these up, about half of it gets eaten by everybody as I'm slicing it. The other half gets eaten by me. See, I'm slicing it really fast for you, so yeah, I'll slow down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, now here's the lean side. And I'll go into high-speed mode so that we can hurry and get this done. See, this doesn't have as much marbling as the other side, but it's still just as tender and flavorful. See, when you cut it across the grain, you see how the grain pulls apart? That's why it's tender. Yeah, that was a good tasty piece. So it's interesting, tri-tip basically doesn't exist past like Nevada. Nobody has it. So I don't understand that. It's such a good piece of meat. People back in Michigan where my brother-in-law lives don't even know what it is.
Liebe Leute aus Münster an der Gitarre, Gregor Hilden.
It seems like a lot of work, but it's worth it because, man, it turns out so much better when you cut it thin. again, the lean side, and I'll grab a slice of the tender side and show you the difference. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that in the video, but the one on the right is the tender side and it's more marbled. The one on the left is a little leaner. Both are good. Yeah, I'm going to eat that slice too. Alright, enjoy. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Thanks.